Want her to want you? Want her to think about you constantly, to miss you and to crave your presence? Stop calling, stop texting, disappear. Sounds crazy? It's not. It's a psychological tactic that works wonders. It's called no contact. And it's like pushing the reset button on a woman's brain. When you remove yourself from her life, it creates a void. We're wired to crave what we can't have. The human mind is a complex thing, and it often desires the unattainable. Remember that toy you wanted as a kid? The one that seemed so special because it was just out of reach? The one your parents wouldn't buy? The more they said no, the more you wanted it. You wanted it even more, right? Same principle applies here. The absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you vanish, you become a mystery, a puzzle she wants to solve. She starts wondering where you went, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with. Her mind races with possibilities. Suddenly you're interesting again, dangerous even. The allure of the unknown captivates her. And that, my friend, is how you make her chase. By becoming the enigma she can't ignore, you turn the tables. She becomes the pursuer, driven by curiosity and desire. She'll start reaching out, trying to reconnect, trying to understand why you pulled away. And in that moment, you hold the power. Use it wisely. Don't rush back in. Let her come to you. Let her feel the pull of your absence. When she finally does, the connection will be stronger, more intense. She'll appreciate you more, value your presence, and be more invested in the relationship. So remember, sometimes the best way to make her chase is to simply step back and let her come to you. Ever notice how limited edition sneakers sell out instantly? It's like they vanish in seconds. Or how that exclusive club seems way cooler than the one down the street. Everyone wants in. That's the principle of scarcity at work, making things more desirable. We place higher value on things that are rare or hard to get. It's human nature, and guess what? You can be scarce too, just like those rare items. By going no contact, you're essentially taking yourself off the market, becoming rare. You're no longer readily available, which automatically makes you more attractive. She'll notice. It's basic economics applied to love. Supply and demand, baby. Simple yet effective. Lower the supply, your availability, and demand her desire goes through the roof. It's a powerful strategy. Let's call him John. John was an ordinary guy with an extraordinary heart. He had a passion for life, a zest that was infectious, and a smile that could light up a room. But there was one thing that made his heart race more than anything else: Sarah. John was head over heels for this girl. Let's call her Sarah. She was the kind of girl who could make time stand still with just a glance. Her laughter was like music to his ears, and her smile was the sun in his sky. John was smitten completely and utterly, but Sarah, she was lukewarm. She enjoyed John's company, but didn't feel the same intensity. She was polite, even friendly, but there was a distance, a barrier that John couldn't seem to break through. John was texting, calling, practically begging for attention. He would send her good morning texts, funny memes, and even heartfelt messages. He called her to share his day, to hear her voice, to feel connected, but each time he was met with silence or short, indifferent replies. Sarah? She was ghosting him. She would see his messages and calls, but would often ignore them. She had her reasons, of course. Maybe she was busy, maybe she was unsure, or maybe she just didn't feel the same way. But to John, it felt like a cold, unending winter. Then John discovered no contact. It was a strategy he read about online, a way to regain control and perhaps, just perhaps, make Sarah realize what she was missing. It was a gamble, but John was willing to take it. He deleted her number. Okay, maybe he wrote it down first. He unfollowed her socials. He went totally off the grid. For a week, nothing. Then 2. He focused on himself, rediscovering hobbies, spending time with friends, and enjoying the little things in life. He was determined to move on, to find happiness within himself. Then something amazing happened. Sarah texted. It was a simple message, just a, "Hey, how have you been?" But it was enough to make John's heart skip a beat. She was curious, intrigued. She missed his annoying texts. She didn't know it yet, but she did. The silence had made her realize the void that John's absence had created. She found herself thinking about him, wondering what he was up to, missing the little things he used to do. She missed his annoying texts. She didn't know it yet, but she did. The silence had made her realize the void that John's absence had created. She found herself thinking about him, wondering what he was up to, missing the little things he used to do. John, playing it cool, waited a day to respond. He didn't want to seem too eager, too desperate. He had learned his lesson. He was busy, you see, living his best life, or at least pretending to. He took his time, crafted a casual reply, and hit send. He was busy, you see, living his best life, or at least pretending to. They started talking again. Slowly at first, just casual conversations about their days, their interests, their lives, but this time it was different. Sarah was engaged. She was initiating conversations. She was interested. This time it was different. Sarah was engaged. She was initiating conversations. She was interested. John couldn't believe it. The girl who once seemed so distant was now reaching out, wanting to know more about him, sharing more about herself. It was a new beginning, a fresh start, and for John, it was a dream come true. Remember how we talked about scarcity? It's a powerful psychological trigger that can make people value something more when it's less available. No contact triggers that, but it also plays on something else, a woman's need for validation. This need is deeply rooted in human nature and is not exclusive to women. Women, just like men, want to feel desired. They want to know that they are important and valued in the eyes of others. This desire for validation is a fundamental aspect of human relationships. When you're constantly chasing her, you're feeding her ego, but you're also making it clear that your happiness depends on her. Not exactly a turn-on. This constant pursuit can make you appear needy and desperate, which can be a major turn-off. But when you go silent, when you stop chasing and give her space, something interesting happens. You take away that validation. The constant reassurance she was getting from your attention is suddenly gone. Suddenly, she's not so sure about her power over you. She starts questioning things. She wonders why you're not reaching out, why you're not seeking her approval anymore. This uncertainty can be unsettling. It makes her reflect on her feelings and the dynamics of your relationship. She may start to miss the attention and validation she once took for granted. She might even start to feel insecure, wondering if you found someone else or if you're no longer interested in her. This can lead to a range of emotions, from jealousy to self-doubt. This uncertainty drives her crazy. The lack of validation and the sudden shift in dynamics can be overwhelming. And guess what? You're the only one who can alleviate it. By re-engaging on your terms, you can restore balance and create a healthier dynamic in your relationship.